What's going on, my boxing brothers and sisters? Another edition of Major Key Mondays, and today we do have a couple of special guests here for Coach's Corner, episode 5. We have the great Thunder Robinson on the panel with us. We have Troy Grizzy, of course, my partner in crime, and then we have Mr. Tommy Brooks, Coach Tommy Brooks, on the line with Troy Graham. And, of course, we're waiting on Coach Marvin to tag in once he gets the opportunity to do that. But welcome, guys. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Excellent.
Everything's good, man.
All right. How's Mr. Brooks doing? Mr. Brooks, you there with us?
I got to call him right back. I got to call him back.
All right. You do your thing, man. But, yeah, we're going to chop it up first and foremost with you guys as far as the month of boxing, like we like to do as far as the Coach's Corner. And once we get that down packed, we'll just kind of like just open it up for free discussion. And then after that, once you guys, are done with what you have to say as far as the month is concerned, anything that you want to add and all that, we'll open it up to the panel to see what they have to say. If anybody wants to come in and ask questions and things of that nature. So appreciate all you guys' patience while we had to wait for a little bit. But let's get the ball rolling. Ms. Thunder Robinson. So you said you watched the fights, right? Let's start off. Let's start off with the first one. The first one of the month. The first major fight of the month was obviously the great heavyweight fight of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Yes.
So thoughts on that?
Well, you know what? Let me tell you. I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan of both fighters. And that's the sad part, because I saw two great fighters together. Because both of them together, I love seeing them both in action. That's number one. With a disappointment, because my man came in there and I just knew he had learned from the last time. But when you go down 3 times, come on now. Something ain't right there. Something you did not do that you said you was going to do when you said that you was going to do this type of training, how you was perfecting it, how you got some more. You even had a new coach brought in to help with your training. I didn't see it. Unless something wrong with me.
Do you think you could teach an old dog new tricks at that point? Like, because he did learn boxing late. I mean, he did get a bronze medal. He's a powerful guy, you know what I'm saying? But he learned the trade a little late in life, and then to ask him to adjust and to not rely on his power when that's all he did for his whole career. I mean, did you really think that it would have, that they would have been able?
Yes, I did. I had every faith that he would use his other arm, his other hand, his other fist, and not rely on that one daggone that power hand to do it all. And waiting on that one hit, that's what I think that's what messed him up.
Yes,
he just was waiting. But I believe you can teach an old dog new tricks. Remember, I got 20 of them, and I teach every one of them a new trick when they get here. So that's not exactly true. That's why I believe he had got a new coach. He got a new coach so he could learn something new.
Right.
So he was open to that. But he just had. Look, I don't know how to put it. He just got the wrong coach because he was open for it, but. Maybe they weren't teaching them anything different. We got to look at it that way. They wasn't giving them nothing different.
Yeah, I want to jump in here with Tommy Brooks. Go ahead and give your opinion on it, Tommy.
Well, yeah. But before Mr. Brooks,
hold on.
First and foremost, welcome, Mr. Brooks. I was talking to you before, but you weren't on the line yet. So welcome back to the show. We love Coach's Corner. So far, I love the energy that Miss Robinson just brought, because I'm not saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm just asking the question. You guys are experts. That's why I'm asking y'all. You know what I'm saying? So Mr. Brooks, based on what I said and what she said, tell me your thoughts.
You can teach an old dog new tricks, but he got to be receptive to it.
There you go.
Okay, that's facts right there. Yeah.
He has to be receptive to it, and whatever you do in the gym is what you're going to do in the fight. If you don't do it in the gym, you're not going to do it in the fight. So you got to work on it in the gym.
So, Mr. Brooks, first of all, did you watch the fight? Did you get to watch that one?
No, I didn't see it.
No, you didn't see it. Okay, so the whole thing was that that it looked just so you understand. Like I'm gonna give you just like an example of what happened. So it looked like he came in with a game plan the first round, and he just completely just left it. Like he just completely left it. Like he came in with a different look, throwing the jab to the body. Throwing the jab, which is not something that he normally does. He was throwing the jab to the body and trying to like lower his hands so that he could go up top and give him the money punch, which is basically what he's famous for, is that right hand. But it looked like he just left the game plan alone and just said, you know what, I'm gonna just go back to my old tricks, and that was the problem, because then he ended up getting dropped. And he showed grit, he showed heart. He ended up dropping Tyson Fury twice, and then Tyson Fury. Came back and ended up knocking him out.
But that goes right back to what I was saying before. If you don't do it in the gym, you're not going to do it in the fight. Once you get into the fight, you got to stick to what you were doing in the gym. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's going to fall apart on you.
With your coach. Yeah, he didn't stick to it. He got a new coach with a different style, and I think you're right. He didn't stick to the plan. And I think when he got that first hit, he said, well, no, I think I can get him, but it was just pulling him in. He was just stringing him right on in to go back to his old habits. I think he learned, but he just didn't hold on to it. He felt like probably in the middle of that, because, nobody knows when you're in that ring, you got to think.
You got to finish the job or get out of there.
Yeah, and you know what, Tommy? Yeah. You basically know what he's built like already, but he muscled up. He came in 238 pounds. I think that's the heaviest he's ever come into a fight.
Right.
And he was all muscled up. Why don't you speak on that? Like most people, I think he's really built for speed. He's not a big guy. He's a tall guy. And now you're going to break down the muscle effect.
You're breaking up a little bit, Troy. You're breaking up a little bit.
Right.
That's number one. If you got,
and something's going on.
Yeah, you guys are breaking up, Troy.
It's probably the rain, but I understand what he's talking about. Putting on them extra pounds slowed him down.
How about now? Nah.
You're breaking up. I know you said just for the chat, Troy did say that it was raining hard over there. So bear with us, but yeah. So Robinson, if you want to pick up on that, because that's another thing that I noticed too. He complained about the 40-pound suit in the second fight, and then he gained 20 pounds. So I mean, you can't shed those 20 pounds like you're taking the suit.
No,
right?
And you can't. And the bottom line, when you put that weight on, that's going to slow you down, period.
Right.
If that's not a weight you used to living at and functioning at in the beginning, and you take that on you, probably, and his coach gave him a different style to fight with, everything that he did threw him off. Where, the other guy just came in with what he naturally do anyhow. He studied hard. He work hard, and he stays steady. And that's just what it is. This man, you can see he does yoga and everything else. I mean, I'm looking at his body and how his body move and everything, and I can see that he takes time to stretch out his body so that he would be limber and able to move around, because that's a big guy. Right. And as big as he was, he still was moving like he was a 100-pound guy.
Mm.
No, I mean, only way
I'm sorry. I was just now. Same thing?
I mean, right there, you sounded good when you said the same thing. Wherever you at, like in the house, just try to maintain right there, because it sounded good right there.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead,
you sound
Thunder.
good. Yeah, you good.
Okay, Thunder. Yeah. Go ahead and finish your statement.
No, go ahead, because my thing is that weight that he put on, it really just slowed him down. He really just wasn't on his game, and it just showed it in that ring.
Okay, go ahead, Tommy, and jump in here.
Exactly, she called it right. And I didn't even see the fight, but she called it just right.
I mean, it's just basic boxing.
It's,
You know what happens when you put that weight on or when you take it off.
Yeah.
if you're working with that weight, there's a difference there, you know.
And it is. It is. It makes a difference in your movement, in your punches, and everything. Because it is. It's just like a bodybuilder trying to all of a sudden throw some punches. We know his punches ain't gonna be that fast with all that weight and muscle tightening them up. It doesn't work the same. But I mean that's why I'm saying that's what it is. He needed to stay in consistent with his weight. Trying to put that weight on, you needed more time to adjust. That's the only other way that I know. When you try to do it quick, fast, in a hurry, it doesn't work. It has not worked yet. I haven't seen a fighter win yet that try to do it that way.
So let me ask y'all. Let me, and I'm sorry, Troy. Go ahead and ask yours, or go ahead and tag along if you want. But after whatever you have to say, I want to ask them as coaches and trainers, like what game plan would they have implemented?
That was my next question.
Okay,
that was
perfect,
my next
perfect.
question.
Thinking along the same line.
Yeah, but Thunder, I was gonna ask you to slide to the right some because we only see like a quarter of your face. There
I
you
don't
go.
know. It's frozen. Wait, did y'all can see my face? I'm seeing my screen. My screen is frozen.
Nah, we see you.
No, then that ain't fair because it's frozen here.
I like that Buddha picture behind you too. We can see the Buddha behind you.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
don't know because I can't see myself. I'm telling you, I'm looking at a frozen screen.
I tell you what, why don't you give your breakdown first, Tommy, and then after that, Thunder, you jump in and give your breakdown as to how you would train, either fighter, whether it be Fury or Wilder.
Okay.
Where do you want to go first?
Tommy said if you want to go first.
No, go ahead.
Go first?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Wilder, what I would do is take him back to the basics. But that's what boxing is all about, the basic fundamentals. You don't have to have nothing extra. You don't have to have no extra weight. You don't have to have no extra speed. You do what got you to where you are, and stick with that.
Did you hear that?
Well, I agree with him because a lot of times what I've noticed, especially with the younger people coming in here, because everyone believes that they are Mayweather and a Muhammad Ali. And I know that's what they aiming for, but one person that I believe, like with Tyson, he always stuck to the basics, no matter what. All of his fights is always, he didn't try to switch up. He didn't try to do none of the Muhammad Ali steps, none of those. He ain't getting in the ring and swinging his arm. He stuck to the basics from the beginning to the end. But nowadays, and not that they are so much younger fighters, but the problem is when they start to think that they know everything. And they're not listening to their coaches. And that's the problem where it comes in. Well, I can do this. You ain't in that ring with me. But if they stick to the basics, and they'll go a long way. One of the things that always seem to lose out with these guys is win. Nobody has win. That win gives out. Nobody want to do the work. You got to do the work in order to get in that ring.
And a lot of people criticize. They say that he's not really somebody that worries about all of that. You know what I mean? Like when you say get back to what you got there, right? Or
the
what
basics.
got you there, right? But his was relying on power though. You see what I'm saying? And so it's good if he was more aggressive, but I think that when they try to change the game plan on him and add weight like that, you see what I'm saying? Like it wasn't so easy for when he did hit Tyson Fury, dropped him twice, but he just couldn't sustain, the same. Yeah, he just couldn't sustain it. Yeah.
When he hit him to the ground, he couldn't even carry it through. I'm looking at him and I'm saying, I'm yelling, I want him to go for it. He walked away. Do you remember that? When he hit that floor, he walked away from it.
Yeah.
When that man went down, that's when you're supposed to roll. And he didn't.
Say it again, Tommy.
You got power. You got to know how to use that power and when to use it.
He was winded. He was out of breath. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, he was. Tommy, he was dead by the 7th round, man. But the fight stretched on till the 11th, which they really should have stopped it at 7th. He was dead by the 7th. You know.
Yeah, he was. His mouth was open. He looked like a deer in headlights. He was just trying to throw, just to throw. You know.
You got to do it in the gym. If you're not doing it in the gym, you're not going to do it in the fight.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Also,
really the bottom line.
Yeah. Also, Tommy, I heard an interview from his old trainer that he wasn't listening all the time. You know, how would you deal with a fighter that didn't listen all the time? Mark was asked, does he listen to you? And he took a sigh and he said, sometimes.
And you know what? He would do without me. Because he would be a reflection on me. You know, it makes it look like I do my job. So I just have to tell him, hey man, I see you, babe. You know, I wish you're on your own.
Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it?
And
What
Pluto
about you,
says,
Thunder? You know, how would you handle someone like that?
Well, you know what? See, what I have learned, and I'm sorry, men, but being a female coach, I try a gentle approach, you know, because I get in there as mama, and you're gonna listen to mama. But you know what? Because my coaches, you know, I got big bally lead coaches and everything, you know, and they be on them. But when mama get in the ring, you know, because you're gonna listen to mama, it makes a difference. And I have to show them now if mama can do this, and I'm running, I'm hitting, you should be able to do this too. Now you got to outbeat mama. So being a woman coach, I believe it makes a difference in how my guys, when they want to give up, when they see that I can do same amount of sit-ups that they can do, it makes a big difference. I'm asking for 300. That's right. When I ask for 300 sit-ups, because you got to go back to the basics. You got to be able to run. You got to be able to run so you can build that win. Because like I said, when he backed off, when he hit him, when he knocked him down and he didn't go for it, that lets you know right there something went wrong. And like you know, just like you were saying, it started back when they was having him in the daggone ring trying to teach him, when his new coach was probably in there. And I'm just guessing, you know, that he was just trying to teach him. You got to have that win. You know, that's it. He didn't have the stamina. That's why he was looking like a daggone deer with the headlights on, because he didn't have that win anymore. He was done. You know, but it was his willpower that kept him going for so long. It was his willpower.
Yeah, willpower could only get you so far, though. You know.
Well, it took him to the end.
that's what's up.
Yeah, I
That's
got a
what's up.
question. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, because I got a question for both coaches. When he came into the ring, this is just from me looking from the outside in. He looked a little tight. I'm talking about Wilder. He just looked tight. He wasn't relaxed. He just looked a little tight to me. You factored that in with the muscle and all that nervous energy that fighters have.
I would put when you change trainers, you change the whole change.
I mean, you're breaking up, but I know what you say. It changed the whole program.
Whole thing know what it takes to get him ready.
Yeah, we got the beginning. Yeah, we got the beginning. We didn't hear the rest of it though. It changed the whole program because of what?
Yeah, when you switch trainers, you know, you got to know what a whole new train of thought, you know. If the trainer doesn't know what you're doing, and that's what got you where you are, you know, he's going to go by all of that, you know, and what he knows. And if the fighter is not capable of doing that, or he's not adjusted to it, he's in trouble.
Did I hear that? Okay.
Yeah, I got the gist of what he was saying. Yeah, I got the gist of what he's saying. You know what I mean? It's you know, alludes to the train of thought when you change trainers and all of that, and you know, I got the gist of it. Yeah, but it was breaking up pretty bad there. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Anybody else have anything else to add to this as far as that?
I know,
That was
but
just
yeah, I understand what he was saying because you know, with the new trainer coming in, the new coach trying to give him a different style, and when he walked in the ring, everything about him was different. And I see what you were saying, how he wasn't comfortable in his own shoes. That's what that was. You know, he's coming in there, the style was different, the weight was different, everything was coming in different for him, and it just threw him off. You know, that may have been the real reason why he lost it, because everything was thrown off.
Yeah, once you get nailed, you know, it's hard to recover from.
Did y'all hear that? No.
he said it. He said it's hard to recover from.
Yes,
Right. He said,
yeah.
"Can you hear me?"
Yes, I
How
can hear
about
you.
that? Okay, yeah. You know what Tommy said is, you know, once you get nailed, it's hard to recover from that. Right, Tommy?
Yeah, and he definitely. I mean, but yeah. Look, again, anybody saying that Deontay Wilder is done with are out of their minds. That was just a great fight. That was just
That's all it was.
Yeah,
That's all it was.
Yeah, and so I anybody saying that is not really a boxing fan. They probably were ready to win or something like that. But that was a great fight. That was a fight.
That was a fantastic fight.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that was a fight. Now I loved it. I may not like the end, but the fight itself, I saw two warriors in there. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
You know, so they don't know that man is not down. And you know, I'm sorry to say that, but when you take that hit, you recover from that hit. You know, that's the bottom line. That don't mean you down because you get hit. You get up and you start again. You know, he just didn't know he didn't know which style to go for. That's all it was. You know.
Absolutely. Well, they fell off, and we were gonna. By the way, you know, we got a couple of people in the chat that you know y'all already know. Y'all welcome. If I got your phone number, you know you're welcome to click that link. You know, and I appreciate you.
I can hear you at all. Hold on.
Logic United, Boxing Logic United just shared the video. I seen it pop up on my screen, so I appreciate you, brother. Always looking out for the channel. So with that being said, unless there's any final thoughts on that, we can move it to the next fight. You know, no thoughts. Okay, so the next one I wanted to talk about, right? So we had a lot of first and foremost before we even get to Mikey Garcia, because that's the next one, right? But Edgar Berlanga, right, got dropped for the first time. Last two fights, he stepped up, right? Some people saying he's got exposed. Some people saying he's partying a little too much, not really sticking to his craft. He feels like he got there already, and he hasn't gotten there yet. So what do you guys think when it comes to Edgar Berlanga? What does he need to do? Did he get exposed, or are we just jumping the gun right now? You know, he is a young guy, and just needs to work things out. Well, what do you guys think overall? And welcome, my brother, Boxing Logic United. Everybody subscribe to Boxing Logic United if you haven't done so already.
Well, you know what?
Go ahead.
Well, for me, I think he's just young. That's all it is. You know, and being young and big-headed and thinking you got it going on, that's all it is. A little bit more, you just need to be sit down and for a minute. so that he can know that he got to stick to the rules, so he can be in there in the game, because he really wasn't in it. He didn't get exposed. That's it. No, I don't believe he got exposed. No.
Okay, respect. What about you, Troy, and then Tommy Brooks, and then of course my brother Myron, Boxing Logic United. So let's do it in that rotation.
I think it's a two-part thing. I think, yeah, he might have fell in love with his power, but he fought his way through it. Came up with the win, but he's gonna have to tighten up for a next couple of fights. Some level of fight based on who trains him. I don't see that happening. But Tommy,
I didn't see the fight.
Right. But you know the fighter though, right?
If the fighter is a banger, you got to be able to readjust. If you don't know how to do that, you're gonna be in trouble, man.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear any of that? No.
You heard a little bit.
Yeah, he was breaking up.
Just a little bit. Wow. Okay. Say something else real quick, Tommy. Let me see if they can hear you.
But what I was saying about when you got a puncher like that, puncher is not working for you. You got to learn how to clock. Okay? You got to learn how to adjust, readjust. So you get the guys in a situation you wanted. Then you go back to your pocket.
Okay. All right. So I definitely get that. And then we're going to pass it to Myron. And then after that, of course, we have Coach Mr. McDowell up in the building, just joining us right now. How you doing, brother? Salute to you.
Right. What's up? I think he just has a lot of development to do for his skills. First of all, hello, beautiful panel. Mrs. Robertson, of course.
Thank you.
Coach Brooks, Tommy Brooks. I put your name in there, made a video saying Josh would need to, come after you, but I don't know who heard it, but I tried. And Mr. McDowell, of course, how you doing, sir? And Troy, of course. I think, Berlanga just, of course, he's heavy, I guess he's heavy-handed. And I know he's out of Philly. I think he's just been accelerated. They're accelerating a lot of fighters that's not highly skilled. Also, you have a lot of fighters who start in the sport late because I think they notice it's an open, there's nobody in there, so it may be an easy grab. So it's all those variables have to play in it. And that's the same for Wilder. It's the same for Joshua. It's the same for a lot of these fighters. But Berlanga, I think he'd be better if he just really dedicate himself to the sport and not trying to, do what Rolly's been doing. Because Rolly's going to be able to talk himself into a position where he's going to get noticed now. But we all see Rolly is a lot like Edgar Berlanga, just a lighter weight, right?
Berlanga got a little more skills than Rolly, though, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely, Rolly has none. Not very. I'm not gonna say none, but you could tell he's that's the area he's lacking quite a bit. But he has some. But I'm just saying it's similar situations. But yeah. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think what I agree with as far as what Marvin was probably alluding to is what I've seen Edgar Berlanga doing lately is he's been shortening his punches. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing the wide punching like the haymakers, which Rolly's still accustomed to doing. You know what I mean? And he's setting himself up for failure by those wide shots. Whereas Edgar Berlanga was in love with that, but he's if you look at the last couple fights, he's been shortening his shots and trying to get it in, but he's been stepping up the competition. So now his chin is getting checked also. Yeah.
Fact.
Didn't he get knocked down his last fight?
He did.
Yeah.
For the first time in his career. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Troy, my bad.
Hold up. Hey, my bad. Y'all through with the Wilder talkers was a very important point I want to ask the coaches.
Well, you know what?
Go ahead.
Jump in on that, and then let Marvin jump in on that too, because we were kind of waiting for Marvin to jump in before we ended that subject, and he jumped in right after we switched it. So we want to hear on his perspective as well as far as is that. So go ahead and get their perspective, Myron.
Okay, they talking about Fury's punching power, all of that, and I definitely want to hear from Coach McDowell and Mr. Brooks and Miss Robinson too. Y'all know I've talked about it probably over the last week I made a couple of videos, and one specifically where I'm airing about Fury's ear attack. Fury intentionally and strategically was aiming for Deontay Wilder's ears. And I'm thinking that had a lot to do with his equilibrium. I made an entire film study of the fight, mostly all the highlights, and Fury specifically was aiming for Deontay Wilder's ear, specifically to knock out, of course, equilibrium, and of course, anything behind the ear is illegal, you know? So I was just saying, I'm not saying what Fury did was illegal, but I posed the question, was it make him somewhat of a dirty fighter, specifically going for a fighter's ear? Because I never seen a fight in all my history of watching fights. I mean, whether it's amateur, not even amateurs, because they wear headgear, which is to protect the ears in the back of the head. But in the pros, where a professional fighter specifically and strategically was going for the ears. And that's what Fury was doing. I made a video, and I shared it to a couple of groups on Facebook, and of course the gypsies, or the Irish guy was like, some guys was like, yeah, it was a smart move. It was pretty dirty, but some of them admitted they noticed that as well. And some was like, well, it's all fair because the ear is not the back of the head. The ear is legal. I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying it's not illegal, but I'm saying it's borderline dirty, I thought. And if you watch that, every strong punch, Fury was not going for the face. He was going for the ears. And I wanted to hear what y'all think about that.
Well, getting hit in the ear is not an illegal punch.
Well, I know that, but my question was, is it like borderline dirty? Because when you're going for the ear, you're not going to hit the ear alone. You're going to be hitting also behind the ear somewhat with the haymakers. But if you really slow down and watch those joints, it was like, wow.
Wow, you know what? From what you're saying, that's kind of that's damaging what you're saying, because you're saying that he's throwing off his equilibrium by that ear, which right there at the skull, was right there at that vessel. Wow.
If y'all noticed, I don't mean to cut you off. If y'all noticed the last fight, he was bleeding, swollen in the same area, the temporal, and bleeding from the same ear. In the second fight, as he was in the third fight, the last fight, as he was in the second, he was bleeding from the ear. I was just like, wow. I'm not saying it was illegal, but I'm like, that's dirty as hell, because it's blatant and it was strategic. If you watch the video and slowed all the footage down, I'm like, he's looking dead at the ears, slamming.
All that is part of boxing. When you saying it's dirty, it's not dirty. It's a legal punch. The ref didn't have nothing to say about it. He wasn't stopping me from doing that. You know,
okay. No doubt. It's legal. I was just like, because my thing is, when you have a fighter that specifically go for the belt. Now, you know, some of those is going to go underneath. Yeah. But he's trying to go to the most vulnerable point, and that's right on the belt, instead of like going to the rib cage, the sternum, or gut. He want to go strictly for a belt. I'm like, I'm not saying that's illegal, but some of those going to revolve in low blows. If you do that through an entire fight, what type of effect that's going to have on Wilder? Plus, I thought Wilder did put on 27 pounds of muscle since the first, and I thought that was the major key for him and his stamina, because he never had stamina issues. But if you notice, second and third fight, he has stamina issues all of a sudden, and he put up 27 total over that time, along with the.
Did you probably hear Mark Breland came out and said his piece?
No, sir.
Yeah, well, Mark Breland came out and he told everybody that Wilder do not listen. He does what he wants to do. And he said that the people around him, you can't really say anything to him, because if you say something twice to him, they'll put you out of the camp. So he pretty much doing what he wanted to do. And I guess he just had Mark Breland bad because of his reputation as being a world champ a gold medalist in the Olympics and stuff, that would make him look good. But he said that the man would not listen to him, wouldn't do nothing that he asked him to do. And that's
I heard him. I heard him say that in the first interview he did with the Boxing Voice too.
Yeah.
I ain't see the second one, but he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Hold on, look at Tony Boswell's comment here. Please don't take what Wilder done that night with these dirty and cheating shit. It degrades Wilder's performance. You see, I kind of agree because look, here's the thing. Tyson Fury is just a giant, bro. Like when you talk about boxing, I feel like Usyk is the best probably boxer, right? But he's not going to be the number one heavyweight because Tyson Fury is the best Tyson Fury, and that right there is an anomaly. He's 6'9", moves like with agility, knows how to box. He's very slick, man. He's very slick. Yeah. As long as he stays mentally healthy, physically healthy, he's going to be a problem for anybody. It's just what it is, and we can't hate on that. We have to say what it is, and maybe you hit him behind the ear, but look, we're not even like diverting attention to plenty of times when Wilder did it before that, and he actually did it in that fight. He pushed his head down for the second knockdown, and then hit him behind the ear too. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So yeah. So we it was a great fight overall. It was just a great fight, man. And that's the way I want to keep it. I can't believe I was alive for a heavyweight fight like that, man, because the heavyweight division has not been like that since I was in my teens.
Yes.
And it wasn't taken away from the legitimacy of the fight. My whole point was that, okay, if Malik Scott didn't notice that in the second fight, and he didn't start picking up on that, or whoever's the trainer, so whoever, why didn't Wilder wasn't they prepared to do that? After they saw after the second fight, why did Mark Breland stop it? He pointed to the ear. That was the whole big thing why Mark Breland got fired, right? He stopped the fight and said, look, it's everybody see it the biggest day. He said, why you stop it? You're bleeding from the ear. Yeah, and it's messing everything up.
He saved
I wasn't prepared for the third fight.
Yeah, he saved him for that next fight.
Yeah, and they didn't prepare for it. The Wilder camp didn't prepare for that. And so I'm like, all of that's all in what I mentioned that up. If he ain't gonna even be defensively responsible to know where a man's going for, he ain't gonna have a chance in the fourth fight, in my opinion.
There's gonna be
it'd be crazy to be a fourth fight. What's gonna be the difference? All he's gonna do is get hurt, so he wouldn't be able to fight no more after that fight. Well,
Wilder's calling for it. They say so.
Man, now you saw when he had his new trainer, he was hitting the mitts, and he was looking good with his combinations and being busy and stuff. But see, all that goes out the window once you get hit.
Facts.
You go back to your survival mode, and you try to do things that you got away with, before you learned all that stuff. And I don't think that he had enough time with him, to really instill what he was trying to do with him.
Yeah, I agree with my mentor, Marvin McDowell. I agree. He didn't have enough time. Given the time and for him to adjust with that new weight on him, just to qualify, it would have been a big difference. But that's why I ain't hear nothing about another fight, but I'm sorry. I would go to it in a minute. Wherever it is. I'm on the plane. I'm on the train. I'm on the jet. All right, I'm there.
Ain't nothing going to be different, though. He might get knocked out quicker.
No.
For real.
I think he would.
No.
He's a damaged guy right now. He's damaged.
And he got something to prove.
Yeah.
He has something to prove.
Yeah, he got something
to prove that he can win.
But see, here's the thing. This man is 36 years old. He'll be 36 years old, and he been getting beat on. His last 3 fights, he was getting beat on. He was getting hit a whole lot. And eventually that stuff catches up with you, And them heavyweight punches, they were smart punches,
Especially the last fight. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's no joke.
So any more catching up? Any more catching up? We all spoke about Berlanga too, right? I believe everybody spoke about Berlanga. So that fight was on the undercard, if I'm not mistaken, with the Mikey Garcia fight. So Mikey Garcia, known for all his layoffs and always trying to like negotiate and things like that, and not very active, but always wants the biggest purses. You know what I mean? Well, what do you think about his career?
It's gone. He got to stop before he get hurt. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over, especially being on that level. You know, it's not there anymore.
Do you think it's the weight division, or you feel like it's just his passion? What do you feel like it is that is not there anymore?
Well, you know, I've been watching him, and you know, the fights that he picked, you know, he was going a little heavier, trying to make a little more money. But you know, every time you do that, you know, you get damaged. It takes something out of you, you know. And he's not the same person that he used to be. Plus, he's getting a little older too. All that stuff makes a difference, man.
Well, what are your thoughts?
Troy's gone.
Yeah.
I think,
having some weather issues. That's why he's been having some weather issues. So just jump in, pop on. What's your thoughts?
I think, his desire is not there anymore. If you keep, and you know, he come from a family. Mikey didn't grow up poor. You know, he had his father was a trainer,
right?
And so he didn't come up hungry or anything like that. He had money already. He came up with money. He just grew up in the gyms. So he did pretty well accomplished. The desire is not there for somebody who missed meals or anything like that as a kid growing up. It was the family business. And he did, pretty well in this time. Now he's stuck between a rock and a hard place because he don't know what weight class he want to be in.
Right.
He don't know if he can go back to 140. He wanted 147. He fought this. What was this? 144? 143? He weighed in like 143 and a half. So he has money. He's stuck. And he doesn't have a belt anymore to either to have any bargaining chips.
Right.
He was trying to get the Manny Pacquiao fight so bad and he couldn't get it. So that fell through, and then boom, now he's doesn't really know what to do. So he tried to pick Sandor as just a stay busy fight, and hey,
it backfired.
Exactly.
Cherry pick gone wrong.
Yep. Yeah. And that's what I had to say about that.
All right, so Ms. Robinson and Troy and Mr. Brooks, I see they back in the building. Y'all want to chime in? I don't know how y'all sound right now, but.
Well, you know what? Where I'm at, even though, it is a different fight when you got that hunger versus where you're born into it. But when you're born into it, you got something to prove too. That's why he's taking any daggone fight. He's taking any fight because he's still trying to stay alive in the game. He's not dead yet. He's not over. You know, he's trying to get that edge, because he have that family line, it's almost like it's a rope around him, got it with one hand tied behind his back. So he got to overcome that. And that's what he's trying to do. That's the way I see it.
Miss Robinson is so sweet. She trying to just be so optimistic by every fight, ain't she?
Nah, you know what?
For Wilder, for Garcia, she's optimistic.
No, but you know this, Marvin, and you know this as well, Thunder. Every fighter has a shelf life.
And
I think Tommy's just coming to. I just think Tommy's coming to that time where his time's up. I can tell by how his body is and how his movement is. I think every fighter just has a shelf life.
And you know what? They do, but this is where I'm at, and I believe exactly what you're saying. But having so many of the older guys come into my gym, and still, and I know that they shouldn't fight. I already know that, but that urge, that is still there, and whenever they can, they will. But don't make it right now.
It's dangerous though.
Yes, it is.
Because first of all, you're getting hit when you're preparing for the fights.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff counts. You know, and a lot of times boxers going to fights hurt from the
Yeah.
sparring and stuff in the gym.
That's it.
You know, and a lot of times you don't really have that controlled sparring, whereas though everybody don't come in there, man, trying to kill each other. You know, but the average person is trying to prove something, and
Try to show that they can beat you always.
or if the promoter comes in and want to watch the guy that they're promoting, and you want to show that, hey, look, man, look at me, I'm better than him. Get in there, try to knock him out, man. You know, and that's how a lot of fights get put out the gym. You know.
Yeah, I do know. I didn't put a many out. But you know, I mean, I understand that the shelf life for 'em, but like I said, you know, with being around so many of the old timers and seeing that urge, that desire, you know, I mean, I know what the end results of it is, and I swear, I think they want to die in a ring, and I mean, I do. I'm listening to them. I'm looking at them. You know, just like with the gentleman that's on here tonight. He didn't have to see the fight, and he already knew what was what. That man, you would have thought that he saw the fight. He didn't have to see it. That's all he had to do was know, and he knew every move and why the guy did, why he went down, everything. That's that desire. That's that vision. You can see it ahead. Oh my God, yes. No, we're not counting them out.
Oh man, boxing is a hurting game, man.
It is,
and you got to know when to say when. Got to know when to say when.
Everybody don't know.
Sometimes you never come back from it.
Yes.
You know, sometimes that one fight will be your last fight ever. You know, and you won't be no good to nobody. And the money that you make from the fight, you have to use that fight to take care of yourself for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah. Sadly, yes.
So bottom line is that what it is? Is Mikey somebody that's been around family and the gym so long where he already seen it and said, you know what? I'm not trying to go that route. I'm just trying to cash out as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Maybe no passion, just trying to cash out.
Yeah. Because he still got a name. His name still got a little weight to it.
Yeah.
Right. And his brother, and then his dad still. So,
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So after that, what do we have? Let's talk about any of you guys follow Xander Zayas? Because leading up to the fight on this last weekend with Jamel Herring and Shakur Stevenson, which will be the last fight that we talk about. Did y'all see Xander Zayas fight?
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't either.
Okay.
I didn't see it either, but I heard about it.
All right. So Xander Zayas fought Dan Carpenti. Carpenti, not a great record, 9-3, but never been stopped. Xander Zayas, 19 years old. Looks like one of the best prospects for the future, along with these other guys that we're seeing as far as Boots Henderson, and Virgil Ortiz, and he's in the mix of that, the future generation. Now he's only 19 though, and some people are saying, oh, why is he fighting people like that? Even though he stopped the guy, they're saying why doesn't he step up his competition? It's like the guy's 11-0, only 19 years old. As coaches, would you guys rush him, or would you just take your time? How would you lay out his career if you got a guy 11-0? I believe it's like 9 or 8 knockouts or something like that, and the kid is only 19 years old, and he shows special talent in the ring. Yeah, go ahead, Tom. I'm gonna run away real quick. But Troy, hold it down.
I got you. Yeah, go ahead. What he was saying is that he shows some, special talents in the ring.
Yeah,
that's what he was saying.
Here's the thing, though. You got to check out his amateur career. How many amateur fights did he have? See, a lot of times they had enough amateur experience to really, blend in. If he had 10 fights and they, trying to step him up, he might can adapt to that because of the amateur fights that he had. If he had over 100 amateur fights, man, then he really can kind of deal with anybody, man.
Like Lomachenko or Broner, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The amateur fights make a big difference. The comfort in the ring, knowing the ring, it has a lot to do with that, So a lot of times, they say, well, man, he only had 10 fights, but he fighting. But I'm saying, look at all them amateur fights. He could have been national champ, regional champ, stuff like that. And those fighting all those different styles and stuff, and it makes him be able to adjust and adapt to whatever's in front of him, especially if you have a good coach.
There you go.
Yeah, Marvin, he had 130 bouts in the amateurs.
Yeah, all that makes a difference, man. It's comfort in the ring, the ring generalship and stuff. All that count. All that makes a big difference.
So that means he's ready.
Right. And he won, 11 national championship tournaments.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, he ready.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would let him roll. I would get him started. Get him in there.
Yeah.
He's young. He knows that ring. He knows the game. Let's get him in there. Let him make that money like everybody else.
That's right.
Let me ask the chat, man, because I'm not too familiar with who's at that weight class. Who should he fight next? To the folks in the chat, give us some names and about who he should fight next and why. Yeah, because I didn't know that much about him until I started reading.
I could tell you who's a threat at that division as far as age wise, right? Because obviously we know all the 154 pounders as far as Jamel. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much everybody at that weight class that we've been watching for the last few years get to the point where they are right now. Then you got the young cat Sebastian Fundora, and then you have Joey Spencer as well. So those are young guys, because Xander Zayas was supposed to be doing 147, and they moved him up. I guess they figured he was going to outgrow it, just get him comfortable at 154, right away. So now he's at 154. So now the only competition as far as up and coming boxers, unless you're talking about people at 147 that may be transitioning soon to 154, then who you're talking about is Sebastian Fundora and Joey Spencer as far as threats are concerned. Besides that, you have the usual suspects, Castaño, Charlo, you know what I'm saying? What's these guys' names? All of the usual suspects, man.
Is Hurd still there?
Believe Hurd's at once. Is Hurd not at 160 now? I may be mistaken though. You might be right.
Sure. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
His last fight he fought 154.
Oh, Hurd?
Yeah, his last fight he fought.
Okay, so then I guess he must be still at 154.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Tim Tszyu, Black and Brown said Tim Tszyu. That's true.
Yeah.
Costa Tszyu's son.
I got a question, just sidetrack along the same parameters. To the coaches, what's the ideal number of amateur fights you think is good for a fighter? For going pro?
At least over 50 fights.
At least over 50?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you tend to being able to all kind of different styles. 50 amateur fights, that'd be good.
That's including Golden Gloves, Olympics, or
whatever.
Yeah,
the tournaments and stuff, and I'm saying 50 fights would really help out, But it all depends on when they start. If they start real young, say like 8 years old, up until 18 or 19 or 20 or whatever, man, ain't no telling how many damn fights they have, man. Especially when they're fighting in the tournaments. That's where you get most of your fights at. long as you winning them.
Well, that's where you get your skills at, and you learn
Yeah.
the different types of fighting. And
Yeah.
that's what you need. That's what the reason for the 50 fights is,
Yeah.
because it gives you puts you in that ring with different style fighters every time. And
And then
that's
you
what's
get to adjust.
preparing you.
Yeah.
But
So
also get some used to the lights, being under the lights.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
it's a whole
Oh
different
yeah.
thing.
so
Get
50,
used
you
to the
think
crowd. Look, get used to the crowd hollering at you. Knock that bum out. You be looking like, who are they talking to, me or him? You know?
so
People
if
be
you think
hollering all
50 is
kind of
good,
crazy.
100 is really, really good. So what's ideal? You say at least 50. What's probably ideal? It's 100.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah. Yeah, I think 100 because you'll be able to adjust to anything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of the guys that's out there, you know, except for the heavyweights, right, has had at least 100 bouts or more. The ones that's on point right now,
Yeah.
a lot of them had 90, 100, 80, they didn't have some fights, man.
That's a good number. Okay.
Now, Marvin, have you trained anyone that has over 100, amateur bouts? I think you did,
Well,
but I'm not sure.
yeah, I trained a lot of them that had that many bouts, right? But right now, the pandemic messed a lot of stuff up, man. The pandemic messed a lot of stuff up, and sometimes you lose these fighters, man, because wasn't nothing going on, and ain't nobody gonna stay in the gym, But you have to keep the gym open for, so the streets won't catch them,
Okay.
And in the area where I live at, man, streets is taking to eat them up, man.
Yes, I agree. I
Just,
agree. Let me say one thing. I have to say that thank goodness that Marvin McDowell did do that. Because he was saving a lot of lives by keeping his gym open. I wasn't able to. But and I thank you, and I'm thanking you on this air, and how much I appreciate you, because I'm here in Baltimore and we know what's going on in Baltimore. So that was a life-saving move that you did.
mm-hmm.
Tell them about your program real quick, Marvin. No books.
Yeah. Well, the type of program I run is I use the boxing to draw the kids in, even though I want to create champions, but mostly champions in life. So we have an educational component called No Hooks Before Books. And one of my mottos, if you ever hear this, I was the first one that started this. Put the guns down, put the gloves up. That's been going on for the past 25 years. So, it's my legal trademark, and no hooks before books. I'm one of the first boxing programs with a legitimate educational component where the boxing and books are going on at the same time under one roof. When you come in my gym, before you see me, you see the teacher. They give you an assessment in math, reading, and writing to see actually where you need help. And before you come into the boxing, you're in the classroom doing your homework, doing some educational wise with certified educators. Come in my gym, we got the gym area, we got my office, and we got a classroom with computers and everything. So, it's really good for these kids. I had about an 85% graduation rate.
That's awesome.
Look at that.
That's awesome.
You
That's what's needed.
Yeah.
got to motivate people, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And during the week, I give out, for the past 3.5 years, I got a food giveaway. I give away fresh vegetable and fruit, And I just got another partner. I got about 30, 35 to 50 coats that I can give, children coats and female adults and male adult coats.
You got any big, tall, and fat coats?
Huh?
You got
What was that? Huh?
He broke up, but he said, "You got any big, tall, and fat coats?" Because he's big, tall, and fat.
Yeah. And see, gotta go to the gym tomorrow to check them out the bags because they gave me like 5 big trash bags full of them. You know, the big hefty trash bags of coats. You know, and you know, we take the kids horseback riding. You know, we just try to give them different experiences and stuff. You know, besides the boxing, but I do want to get a world champ, and I do want to have an Olympian. So, you know, we have a serious program. So once this boxing open back up, like it's supposed to, we're gonna be on the scene. You're gonna be hearing about Umar Bak.
Muhammad.
Yeah. He's I'm ready to get him his first pro fight.
So when do you like? Do you have a date for that yet, or you're just working on it right now?
It's gonna be in February. There's a promoter here named Jetta Promotion.
All right.
Matter of fact, he had a fight this weekend, well, last weekend at the Casino Live in Maryland, and it was a pretty good card. You know, you ever heard of Damon Nicholson?
Of course, I interviewed him.
Yeah,
That's right.
Well, he fought the main event. You know, he went the distance, but he had a pretty tough fight.
Damon Nicholson was the first one to last with Berlanga. I was at that fight.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
And then we interviewed him a week later after the fight.
Yeah. He fought on the card, and it was a pretty good card. They had fair decisions too, man, because you know 2 Baltimore boys fought 2 DC guys, and it was kind of tight, but the Baltimore boys, you know, came over and they won. You know.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And what about you, Miss Robinson? Who do you have in the works coming up? Who were fighting
Lord,
up soon?
nobody right now. That's why I'm pushing with my mentor, with Muhammad, to be the next. I support my mentor 100%. You know, but in my gym, because of the pandemic, we closed down. And with me, with my gym, we dealt with the trauma that's taking place in the community. And I have a wraparound service where we deal with all mental aspects of the community and the boxers when they come in. And because I am a psychologist, that's the first step that they make, is to sit down with me before they venture. Like Marvin said, boxing is what gets you in the door. But then we got to see what's going on, because everybody's not going to be a champion. And so I deal with the mental aspect of what's taking place in our community and the cause and the reason for all the shootings and killing. As Marvin said, my logo is glove up, gun down, which was lent to me by Marvin McDowell. So, and I wear it proudly, because my thing is to get the kids off the streets. And once we get the kids off the street, we got to understand, why are they dying at such a young age? And I mean, there's a lot of other things to it, but we have to break down the family dynamic of what's taking place in the family. And that's all part of what Uppercut Boxing Gym is about, the trauma part that's taking place on why our young men are dying at rapid rates in the city. That's what my gym does.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing. Troy, you just came back in. Any words? You still got Mr. Brooks with you? Troy, can you hear me? Yeah, just so you guys know, he said that before we even went live, that he was at. Oh, there he goes. But he's having some thunderstorms where he's at.
Oh my gosh, yes we are.
Yeah.
I'm in DC. It's raining here too.
Oh, it's coming down here.
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, we can.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Because I had a question for Marvin and Thunder. How would you take your program, Marvin and Thunder, and and transition it into the pros? Like, how would you take your programs, and then transition them into the pros? Like, I know you, Marvin. I've been around your program for going on 20 years. How do you take that and transition it into like helping pros?
Yeah. Well, what I want to do, specifically in my program too, is have a contract literacy program. You know, because a lot of times these guys, when they turn pro, they sign these contracts, man, and they don't really understand that a lot of times they're signing their life away. So what I want to do is have some contract situation where they can understand exactly what's going on, you know, so that they would be okay, you know, and I guess this is another show, but you know, we gotta have some contract literacy, and that's gonna save boxing, you know. If if you have a lot of people that's against that, they must have something else going on, you know. But ain't no way all these guys that's been boxing and fighting over the years end up broke, homeless, and destitute. You know, it don't make any sense. So we got to unite these boxers and, you know, look out for each other, because there's no reason for all this to be going on. You know, one year you're on top, next year you're in the gutter. It don't make any sense, man.
Hold on 1 second, brother. So we have Matthew Smith with a request here. Leo Trim, don't be sad. You can get through this. Stay strong. You're amazing. All right. Apparently, you know, he's going through something right now. And we support all type of mental health. That's basically what we're talking about right now.
Yes.
You know? Basically what we're talking about right now. So I sometimes I get these in my comments and all that. And again, I have such a passion for boxing, and I'm glad I touch people to that extent, because I have time for it. You know what I mean? I have time for it. Like I'm not somebody that plays around when it comes to that. I've been a supervisor my whole life. I've seen people go through things that they won't talk to with anybody else about. They talk to me about it, and they know that you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna let my, you know what I'm saying. You could lean on me, you know, basically. So yeah. So anytime, you know, you need some kind of support for your mental health, just know that we over here for you.
Good. Thank you. That is good. Because one of the things that for me, if I was to take this a step further, you know, like I was explaining when I first started my gym, I believe in the unionizing of boxing, because so many of our boxers need mental health, they need physical health as well. You know, financial, it will come with it being a union where they would put something in, they would be able to get something out, because a lot of them are homeless. A lot of them, I mean, money that they'd made no longer have. I know so many of my boxers, you know, that was out there, that was pros, now have nothing. You know, and it is because of mismanagement of their money, and also the different things that been going on with them mentally from getting those blows. You know, so we have a lot of things to do in order to make that adjustment into creating a positive approach in our pro, and when we move forward. But we have to focus in on at least unionizing, so that way it would be a criteria that everyone would have to adhere to. So that way, at the end of at all of that, at the end of their career, so that they're not broke, so that they can get their help. Yes, we have to do something, and you know, I believe that we are making those steps, you know, and I look forward to that challenging conversation and making that move here in Maryland, because if we don't unite some kind of way to bring that power here for our retiring boxers, because that's what it's going to be out. Because as we know, as you said, the shelf life is short. It's not a long-lived life, you know. So we got to make the best of it while we can.
Yeah, we got to unite.
That's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. See, because we have to be the example of the fighters that came up after us. You know, we got to show them that we can organize and put things together so everybody can benefit off of it. You know.
Absolutely. And we're going to top it up a little more. You know, we spoke the other day, Marvin, about this. Since I have that meeting with House of Representatives due tomorrow. So so I definitely have to. You already given me you know, anything you want me to bring up, but I have to ask Ms. Robinson also if she could text Troy, let me know what was going on, or you could just directly send it through Major Key Boxing at gmail.com. So that way, any questions that you guys have, I'm literally trying to push this legislation thing. I'm a small channel man, but I'm not a dumb dude. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm a big guy with a soft heart. You know what I'm saying? Just put
There
it
you
like,
go. That's
you know,
right.
so it is what it is, man. I got nothing but love for the boxers and for everybody, you know, just trying to live life, man. I got 9 kids. I understand the struggle. So so when it comes down to it, the last fight that I want to talk about, because I know your time is precious, and we appreciate you guys chopping it up here, and we kind of pushed past the hour mark already. So the last fight was Jamel Herring, Shakur Stevenson. Shakur, a lot of people had their heart involved with picking Jamel Herring, but at the end of the day, he also did start a little late. You know, he was a Marine before that, and then he went to try to deal with his mental health issues. Since we were talking about that, it was a great segue, right? He was trying to deal with that, and so he got into boxing, because if not, his wife, he would have left him at that time, right? So he got into boxing, you know, to better his life, and then look at him, he was a champion. He fought Shakur Stevenson. My whole thing was Shakur Stevenson has been groomed to be great, and I knew that his amateur career, like you guys been saying, his amateur career, just the way he is, it didn't matter that Jamel was bigger. He was just he's groomed better, you know. So what are you guys thoughts on that fight?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't impressed. I expected to happen what happened. You know, he stayed calm. He broke him down, and he got him up out of there. You know, he looked real comfortable. You know, and once he started getting even more comfortable, he believed in his ability. And once you believe in your ability, you know, ain't no stopping you. He was putting them combinations together, man. He looked really good. Looked really good.
I think it was freaking. Is that the best question? Is that the best I've seen Jamel Herring, or was that all Shakur? Just none
It
of
was all secure. It was all secure.
Because
It was all secure.
I've seen Jamel look a little bit better than that. It seemed I don't know if maybe Shakur has more of a killer mode.
Yeah, but he might have been intimidated too, because he was trying to pump himself up like, yeah, man, you know, this kid can't beat me. But once they keep down there and start using them skills on him, and you know, he said, oh man, you know, this kid is for real. And he had that look on his face.
But they know
Like,
each other. They're friends. They used to
yeah,
be in the same stable. I think he
yeah.
knew Shakur was thorough, but maybe he's 35, Shakur 24. Maybe they developed maybe somewhat like a big brother thing to him because their families are close. And do you think that could have held him back?
I do. Yes, I do.
I don't.
I do.
Don't.
Yeah.
Look, I don't care who you are. Once you get in that ring and you start beating on each other, man, all that other stuff is that family and friends stuff is out the door. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you this: when I was fighting, it was either me or you. It was either me or you, and I wasn't gonna let it be me. And you could be my best friend. If you challenging me, I gotta get you.
You know, everybody don't have that same personality type.
Well, they don't need to be in boxing.
True.
Boxing ain't for them if they feel like that.
Well, boxing isn't for everybody, but the thing is, when you have that friendship, it's kind of hard to be in that ring with your friend, with your who you didn't watch. That's a hard thing. You know, I mean, you're still trying to fight your fight, you know, but you're still giving respect to that person that you've been looking up to all the
You're
time.
gonna get that respect, but you ain't gonna let him do what he want to do to you.
True. And I think that. Do you think age gap is? I mean, because well, that's why I said the age gap, because Jamel's like 11 or 12 years older than Shakur. So I was developing because I know used to fight my baby brother all the time, right? Unfortunately, 7 years between us. I mean, literally, he challenged me a lot. We got in some bad situations.
Yeah, but
And,
see,
for a
Shakur
while,
was
I
more
gave up.
skillful than him.
Huh?
Shakur was more skillful than him.
Definitely. He's
You could
100%.
see the
I think
difference
he
right
knows
there.
that. Jamel
Yeah.
knows. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he tried. You know, he really tried. But he just couldn't do nothing with him.
Couldn't do nothing with
The
him.
kid was young. The kid was fast. The kid, you know, he wanted to hurt him. You know, even though they were friends and they was among each other and stuff like that, he still wanted to beat him. He wanted that belt. And you know, they were friendly after the fight was over with. But, you know, hey, that's boxing, man.
Even he admitted, he said, I'm not going to beat him in a chess match. I got to go forward and try to get him any way I can, is what he said in his post-fight interview.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder what he was whispering in his ear when he was up close. Man, I don't want to hurt you.
No, he probably said, man, you lucky. you lucky we all right.
See, that's the talk I want to hear. What's going on when you're whispering in that ear when you're up close?
Yeah. Hey, look, man, you know, like I ain't put all of it on you that I wanted to.
But I'm gonna have to put you down. I ain't gonna hurt you too bad.
Yeah.
Where do you rank skill wise Shakur with the other four? Let's take Ryan out of there. But compared to Haney, Tank, Teofimo, if you watched them.
Well, Tank and Shakur, they the two best out of it. They the two best out of it.
Okay.
Well, see, too, is that I watched Tank grow up, man. Tank can box. A lot of people don't realize that. Tank is a very good boxer. But the fights that he been getting, you know, wasn't really much of a challenge where he used
I was going to say, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Well, he was getting fights where he didn't have to use the skills, you know, because he got them guys out. But then, too, if you don't practice your skills, you lose some of your edge. So, you know, like we might see this in the next fights, you know, that he gets somebody that can box a little. He might have to go back to his drawing board, man, and get those skills.
That's not Rolly. Rolly can't box. Rolly
no, I'm not talking about Rolly. I'm talking about I'm talking about the Fabulous Four.
Oh yeah.
You know yeah. He gonna knock Rolly out, man. He gonna hurt Rolly.
Guys, I have to in about 3 minutes I have to make a call about this charity stuff, about this this important venture that we're all on, which I'm gonna touch base with you guys about. But let's give our final thoughts. You know, starting around obviously with you, Myron. Let everybody know where to follow you since you're the other person right here with the boxing channel.
Yeah.
If they living under a rock and don't know who you are, they haven't seen. Look at that smile. Look at that smile right there. Look. Oh, now you guys the mean mug. All right. Myron in the building. That's my brother right there. Go ahead, tell everybody where to follow you, brother.
Boxing Logics United. Myron Magnus on Instagram. Myron Magnus on Twitter. But Boxing Logics United is the YouTube page.
Okay.
Salute to you.
All
man.
day.
Always bringing the great questions. You know what I'm saying? Pushing back. I always appreciate it, man. Yes, sir.
Be provocative, a little messy sometimes.
Absolutely. Mr. McDowell, tell everybody your causes, where to follow you, like always. You know, just in case anybody's first time hearing you.
Okay. On Facebook is Umar Marvin McDowell. On Instagram is Umar Marvin. And my email is marvinmcdowell87@gmail.com.
That's what's up. Everybody make sure you go ahead and support. And if you live around the DMV area, like he said, you know, he's got a couple of great causes that you can help out with as well. So go ahead and link up and find out how you can help his causes. And Ms. Thunder Robinson, final thoughts.
Well, this is truly a great night. I mean, we spoke about a lot of things, and everything was really. I mean, I love hearing all aspects of thoughts and everything. Even the one about the ear kind of got me, kind of threw me off a little bit,
Yeah.
So now you're gonna have me
Your,
going
your
back.
your facial expressions were priceless when he was talking too. By the way, yeah.
Oh my God! See, I can't. See, no, I told you my face is frozen. Y'all can see me.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Let me.
Yeah, we could see we could see the when you put the the eyes together, like what, the eyebrows, and like what the hell is this dude talking about?
God. But I got you. I'm gonna go back now and look at that again. Cause now I'm curious, I can't help myself.
Yeah.
But Uppercut Boxing Gym of Maryland, Trauma Release Center. I deal with the trauma that's taking place in Baltimore City. And I believe that if we don't get a handle on what's going on with these people, our people mentally, we're not going to break this cycle unless we do. We got to get into the homes, get them into the gyms. And like I said, and one thing Mom said, boxing brings them in. Once we bring them in, then we are able to talk
We
with
can
them
heal
and
them.
connect
We
with the
can heal
family.
them. We can heal them.
That's,
Yeah.
those are two awesome joints. Because a lot of people don't understand the generational curse people are talking about. It's actually generational trauma that's passed
Yes,
down.
thank you.
That's
Thank
right.
you. Yes, it is.
That's what I made videos talking about that too, or a lot about social dynamics, generational trauma. I hate the
Yes.
word curse. It's the generational trauma passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah,
That's
but we
right.
got to break it. We have to break that because this is, I mean, 7 girls in Baltimore on one corner, being shot up.
Yeah,
So,
wasn't that on North Avenue?
yes, that was right there across from the fire department.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something mentally, there's a breakdown, and there's a lot of trauma going on where people are not being sensitive to the next person's life. They're not understanding the depth of what they're doing.
Hurt
Killing.
people hurt people.
That's what my sign was. If y'all look at, hurt people, and that's
Well,
it. That's what we got to break.
if you don't really value your life or don't see nothing good coming out of your life, you're not going to see it in other people's.
But that's why we got to get into the family, get into the house, and we have to at least start to understand why they're doing what they're doing, because this wasn't it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
No.
This is something that's been taking place over a time, and all of it, no matter what anybody say, all this is designed to go this way.
Right.
That's why we have to some kind of way make that break and stop this anger.
It's something major. Let me drop a major key here. One of the things that really that I've noticed in my life is that a major key here is that a lot of it has to do with people's fear, right? And what I mean by that is like the people that speak from the chest and like that, they're less likely to hurt you because they just say what they feel because they're comfortable in their own skin. But the people that fear, these are the people that don't know how to react, and these are the people that'll pull the gun and shoot first.
That's it.
Because
That's
you know what I mean? Like
there you go.
Yeah, it's fear. So we got to get them out of that and make them feel comfortable in this world. It's a crazy world, but we all have to get through it together.
And we do. And that's the one thing. It has to be all of us, not just one. It has to be all of us working together so that we can end this violence in all cities. Because it's everywhere.
Here's a saying that I want everybody to remember. We have to give these kids a choice and a chance. We have to give them a choice and a chance. And that'll work everything out. Give them a choice and a chance.
There you go. And Mr. Troy,
Yeah.
last person to speak. Giving his last thoughts or
Yeah. I just want to say, well, I'm real blessed to be here, man, and be on the platform and just to have this type of talk because we can listen to foolishness all friggin' day. But to have a purposeful conversation that sticks in the parameters of the sport and builds on the sport, that means a hell of a lot to me. It means a hell of a lot to other, like a lot of people. Who's the brother that texted in and talked about his brother having a depression or whatever have you? It touches people It touches people. Just like Marvin, I go back with him a little ways. I always tell him, man, that his program changes lives and it touches lives, and I know that for a fact, right? The same thing with Coach Thunder. I'm actually getting to know her, so I don't really know her program like that, but I can tell by her passion that she has the power to change a lot of lives as well. And that is what we're all here to do. I don't think God put us here to do to run our mouth and just have a good time all day, which is no problem with doing that. But sometimes you got to stick to your purpose, and you can't let nobody tell you any differently about it. Period. Okay.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So, Mr. Brooks, any final words, or did Mr. Brooks have any? Coach Brooks have any final words, or?
No. Coach is gone, man, because my tablet kept messing up and then the phone kept dropping and all that.
It's all good, man. We understand, man. You know what I mean? But yo, it's 10:05 p.m. on the East Coast. So salute to you guys. I love you guys for chopping it up. Always a pleasure. I hope I didn't waste anyone's time tonight. We always try to give great content and dialogue. But until the next time, which I think is a charity event on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. We'll go ahead and do the Ring 10 on Wednesday, and then we'll have a couple more interviews. Like I said, I was out of office for the last 2 weeks moving, but we back in the office and we're ready to grind it out. So salute to you guys. Another major key edition of Coach's Corner. Peace and pugilism, like my brother Boxing Logic United likes to say. Y'all have a great night.
All right, bro.